This is Distance from Center. I'm Horton, that is
Trent.
And last weekend we had the Moomba Masters. Trent, what'd you think, man?
I think there's a reason why this is by many considered to be, the greatest event in the history of our sport. It's one, it's the crowds, two, the atmosphere, three, the location, downtown, literally downtown Melbourne. And then just the drama that just is always going to be something, and it still ended up being, the same deal. Like someone ran 3 at 41, whole bunch of good skiing, but there's still like this drama, in an event where, I had both of these guys on the podium in my mental sort of, guess, or if I was wagering on someone, I was going to put Will Asher and Freddie Winter both on the podium, and just like that, I mean, neither one actually made the final.
Right. I was thinking about it this morning, and I know this is a race car analogy, but it's kind of like Daytona, right? I mean, you just don't know who is going to get taken out by a simple mistake or a bad judgment or swallowed by the river.
Yep.
Skiers that we expected to get through the finals, Pagozzi fell in his opener.
Crazy.
Felipe Miranda and Tom Poole both gambled with opt-ups in the semis and got knocked out. And I think the Tom Poole thing to me that might have been the dramatic moment of the weekend, because he just had to run 38.
Yeah.
And he went off the dock at 32 and opted up, skipped 35
to make the final.
Ran the pass, got around 6 ball, and went through the gates with too much slack and popped the handle. So the score is 6, no continuation. But since he didn't actually ski away, just needed that much less slack, the score was actually 6 at 35 off.
Yeah.
So he misses the final.
Yeah. Yeah, and I imagine people were scrambling like, okay, quick. I'm pretty sure I know this rule, but someone triple check this thing, because this isn't going to bode well if I mess this up. Absolutely incredible. So, and that's kind of the weird thing about Moomba is there's always going to be drama like that, but history has shown it's still not going to be this dark horse champion. It's still going to be one of the guys. If it wasn't going to be Will, right, it was going to be De Gaspery. If it wasn't De Gaspery, it was going to be Winter. If it wasn't Winter, it was going to be Nate. And the finals kind of everything settled down and made a little more sense.
Yeah, and so when it came down to it, it was runoff between Nate and De Gaspery, and then there was additional additional runoff? That was women's.
That was women's
between these two.
Was crazy exciting.
And the thing about De Gaspery is he's always there.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to call him a cockroach, because that sounds insulting, and actually I hold him in really high regard, but it's like you can't kill De Gaspery. He's always
so-and-so's running 41, so-and-so's running 41, this guy ran 41, but it's De Gaspery, man, and right, what he does well, one is, his confidence, but that his confidence trickles into his technique in that he trusts his line. He may not run the earliest line. He's often looks a little bit buoy to buoy, but he trusts, when he hits the center of the wakes, he trusts that he's done enough, and he's going to ride his speed to the highest line possible, even if that puts him a little bit late on the course. He's not the guy that you see trying to throw at a lucky turn and sneak it out. He trusts his spatial awareness of where he is in relation to the buoys to the boat. I think must be incredibly good, because man, he looks calm when other people are might be panicking for him.
100%. And it's as he's gotten older, I think he's gotten better. Maybe his ball count is the same, but I look at him today and I see really good technical slalom, and you go back 10 years and you see a guy running about the same buoys, and you're like, okay, that guy's just a cat, right? He's just nimble.
Yeah.
And I don't think that. I mean, he's still nimble, but I just think he's getting better.
He's awesome.
Which is
huge. And it's any final that doesn't have Pagozzi, Asher, or Freddie Winter has the chance of being a letdown, but this was definitely not a letdown. Like you said, run off for the title. Always good. I think they tied it
2.5.
2.5.
Oh, sorry, 5. So in the finals, it was 5 at 10-7.
Yeah. And then it was 3 at 41 for Nate to DeGaspery's, I think maybe 5 at 39 again, 4.5 at 39.
DeGaspery ran 4.5, and then Nate went out and just ran it and ran 3 at 41.
Awesome.
Just kind of.
And then over the women's side, man. So I did have the field was a little bit abbreviated, but I did have a dark horse getting on a podium, and I had put Paige Reaney to. I actually had her in second. I thought she was going to be on a podium, and she did end up running off for third place. Which was awesome. Let
me back you up.
Yeah.
Let's go back to prelims and semis. I don't think anybody had any expectations for Elizabeth Monavon because she's kind of an unknown name. We see her on social media, and we've kind of heard her name. She looked so solid and so good, and she skied great all the way into the final. Nobody would have placed her there, and I think she proved everybody wrong. She's the surprise of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, given the field, I wasn't incredibly surprising that she was advancing round and round, but the scores that she was doing at her first Moomba ever, absolutely. She looked cautious in the finals, but I mean, most people at their first Moomba don't get that far. I can think back. I know Bailey Austin did, just from experience. I know Bailey Austin made finals in her first Moomba. I know Abby Grathwell did also. But I mean, to go out there and get yourself mid 38 over and over. Yeah, she did incredibly well. I mean, it's. Yes. I think what did she end up in the final?
She ended up fourth.
No, Paige was fourth. Fifth. Yep.
Yeah, fifth, right behind Paige. So, and in the finals we got the double runoff. We got the runoff for first, second, and the runoff for third, fourth. I mean, that's fun stuff. That just doesn't happen every day.
Yeah, really cool. And it was like one of the younger upstarts, Allie Nicholson, running off for the title against the world champion, man. And it was not a gimme. Allie just, man, she showed up round after round after round, including that runoff. Like she, it wasn't a gimme for Manon by any stretch.
Right, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Luisa Yarmillo, who also I've heard the name. Actually, I know Luisa's sister. She skis here a little bit. Yep. But coming in third, getting in that runoff with Paige, that's amazing stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. So again, you could look at that. Looking at that field coming in, you're like, oh man, this maybe isn't going to be the most exciting move. But all those girls stepped up and they made it like a heck of a show. And then let's go over to men's jump.
Men's jump. Fred by a foot, yeah. Fred by 2 feet, whatever.
Yeah, but what's like? I was thinking on the drive over the lake today. I think like Ryan Dodd and Freddie Krueger, and we'll put Jacinta Carroll into that same category. They're almost victims of their own prowess. They're victims of their own domination, their own success. Freddie, who's going to be 44 any minute, 44 years old. I mean, he goes over there and he's jumping against full-time jumpers. Igor, Hazelwood, a couple of Miranda's brothers. These guys are full-time professional water skiers, and they're a fraction his age. So we do this. So we're like, it's just, Ryan's not going, so this is Freddie's tournament. Is what it is. But I mean, that is like so wildly unfair because it's Freddie's tournament because Freddie's the best, or it's Ryan's tournament because Ryan's the best, and they're in Jacinta Carroll. If it's like, well, Jacinta's going to win by 20 feet, ho hum. But I mean, it's like, no, you better turn this on and you better watch this because it's this level of dominance. Nate had it a few years ago. Freddie's had it for a decade. Ryan's had it for however many years, and Jacinta 5, 6, 7, 8 years of just utter domination. So we just got to make sure we don't gloss it over just because they happen to be just profoundly better than anyone else.
I agree. So Freddie takes Igor, and then third place, Felipe Miranda, always in there. And so then awesome. Impressive, those new kids, not new, but the up-and-comers, Joe Poland, Robert Hazelwood, Dorian Llewellyn, those guys right there in the hunt. Super impressed with all of them.
Yeah. Wicked.
All right, well, we'll talk soon, whatever's next.
Swiss Slalom Pro is coming up. Masters will be coming up. LA Night Jam coming up. So yeah, it's we're into the thick of things now.
Awesome.